Hi everybody, this is Kevin Purcell, and this week I'm going to give you 2 iPad apps of the week. This will be my first one. It's just sort of a quick mini overview of the Kindle app. The reason I'm showing it to you, it's nothing new. It's been around almost since the beginning days of the iPad, but it's got a couple of exciting new features I wanted to show you. Now, just a quick overview of the iPad app. You notice it's just a real simple book reader. You can bring up this menu down here. This will help you to sync things. You can change the font size right here if I can get it to come up. There you go. See how you can change it, get really large. I like to keep it about there. Change the background to a white background, a black one. That's really good for nighttime reading, so you're not bothering your spouse or the person that you're sleeping next to. And then you have the sepia background, which was my personal favorite. This will change the brightness on it. You can turn it way down if you like for a very bright set or for a very, very dark setting. Or in this really bright room, I have it turned all the way up. Now, down here you can search. And then this is the back button. So let's say we go into the Go To button. We look at the cover. This is the Voyage of the Dawn Treader book that I'm reading with my son. We hit the back button and it'll go back. Now down here you have the progress indicator. This is a sliding bar. You can manipulate it. You can go back really quickly to different parts of the book. Also you have the location. I don't know if you can see that too well. Has the percentage and the numbers. The numbers don't stand for pages. I'm not entirely sure. I think there might be lines or something like that. But the percentage is what I usually look at. I'm about 74% done in this book. Now up here at the top of the screen, you can't really see it unless I move the camera. Let me instead move the iPad and show you. You have the home button, and that'll bring up the home screen. We'll go back into the book. And then you have over on this side, you have the place where you can bookmark that location. Now the home screen, which lists all of your books, you can get the archived ones, the ones that aren't currently on your iPad but in your account. You can have it listed either by book covers or by list. I choose list usually. You can sort it by recent, title, or author. I like the recent, so the ones that I'm reading right now are at the top. And again, this one will synchronize. So it synchronizes all your notes, your bookmarks, that sort of thing. The info button opens up for settings, so you can change some of the settings on the iPad, that sort of thing. I'm not going to go into too much detail there. But let me go back into the book. And the reason I have my iPad at portrait mode is normally that's the way I would read. And the reason is when you put it in landscape mode, you got a really wide screen to read. Well, guess what? The new iPad app. Look at that. I think that's exciting. It's something, and it's that feature alone that made me want to show it to you. It's really interesting that they decided to put it in the columns. And the reason for that is, as you're reading, if you go all the way across the edge of the page, it's hard for your eyes to track, and you won't read as quickly. But put short columns like this, and you can track with the spot. Your eyes can track a lot quicker, and it makes reading a lot faster. That alone makes it just a really great upgrade. But you go into the go-to menu, and of course there's all these go-tos. You can go to the cover, the table of contents, you go to the beginning, you can go to a specific location in the book. Down here it has a place for popular highlights. That's a neat feature that's not new with this version, but new in a previous release that came out just, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, maybe more, I'm not sure. And what it is if there's a lot of people reading this book, as they're highlighting, I'll show you how to do that in just a second, as they're highlighting or underlining parts of the book, then I'm not sure what the minimum number it has to be, but see, 10 people highlighted this location, 7 people highlighted that location, and you can go to directly to those. That could be helpful for a student highlighting a textbook. It's pre-highlighted for you, and when you see that, it'll already have an underlining spot. Let's go ahead and show you one of those. Whoops. Well, that's the other feature I want to show you. We'll get there in just a second. Popular highlights. Now notice when you get there, see, it's already highlighted. It's underlined slightly. Now when you go back, let's say I wanted to highlight this. Oops, having trouble there. Alright, so now it's selected, and I can grab these. And if I wanted to highlight that sentence, I hit highlight. If I want to add a note to it, I hit note, and I can begin typing a note just about that spot. So let's say I highlighted that and about 20 other people highlighted that. It'll show up in popular highlights. But the really cool new feature, aside from the 2 columns, is now this book extras. It's like getting DVD extras only for a book. It's based on information from Shelfari, which is a website, sort of a wiki, a place online where people can go to put information about their favorite books. And in this, notice over here, these are all the things you get about each of the books. It talks about the series, if it's part of a series. Notice that this book gives you a list of characters. Here you have spoilers. Sometimes information in here will be a spoiler that tell you about a plot element that will kind of give away the ending of the story. You can turn those off if you want. In this book, it's not a whole lot different. It tells you important places, themes, a super short synopsis, and then usually a longer summary, although this one doesn't. Memorable quotes out of the book. Note for parents. Maybe there's information in the book that will help out parents. It could be that this is not a book that's good for parents. This one is, by the way. First edition tells you about the first edition of that author. Background information. There's not a whole lot here. Who was influenced this by who? What books influenced this book? Notice it says the Bible by the King James Version, and then influenced by it says Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Not sure if that's accurate or not. It may be. But this is all really good information. This would be great for a student. Let's say you're getting ready to take a test on a book like this. Come in here and you can get some of the quick information. It's kind of like a Cliff Notes for your book. Not every book will have information like that. Some books do. Some have very limited. Some have an awful lot more. But it's just a really nice new feature, and I really like it, and I wanted to show it to you. So this is kind of a mini iPad app of the week with the Kindle app. My experience has been that when I show people my Kindle, they're interested in the fact that they can get online with it. They can check email, play games, some of the other apps. But when I show off the Kindle app, that's often one of those really killer use case scenarios. People look at the Kindle app and they go, wow, it's great. Notice how the difference between it and the iBooks app, the iBooks app takes a little while to load up here. Alright, it's finally loaded. This looks a little bit prettier. It has some of the same features, searching and changing of the font size and that sort of thing. This one you can actually change the font face, which you can't do in the Kindle app. You can bookmark a page, unbookmark it, whatever you want to do there. The brightness setting, when you put the brightness on, it gets really bright on the iBooks app. Again, it has a lot of the same features. Look at as I swipe pages. It's kind of got that pretty animation, but at the same time, that animation takes a little while to get going at first. And when I'm reading, I just want to, boom, hit it and go. And so I like the iBooks app, but not as well as the Kindle app. But the most important thing is in Kindle or Amazon, you've got a ton of content. iBooks doesn't have nearly the content. That's why this is really the killer use case for the iPad. This has been Kevin Purcell with, as I said, a mini iPad app of the week. Come back again for another one. It being baseball season, I'm going to show off the Major League At-Bat app, which is a really cool way to check out the playoffs online. But again, as I said, this has been Kevin Purcell for Notebooks.com, and I appreciate you watching.